All right, what's the deal, man? It's your man King Eric, the media assassin. We are now tuned in to an exclusive interview of Off the Cuff Radio. Show is sponsored by Buddy Boy Entertainment, sponsored by Screwball Radio, sponsored by Fleetwood and the Cot Pickers. I got my host T Match with the facts on the line. What's good with you?
What's going on? It's another magnificent, magical Monday evening on the freshest frequency of outstanding OTC Off the Cuff Radio. Shout out to our co-hosts there, a lot of fan man, Lady Chin Show, and of course, frequency of Dirty Basement Radio. We are live and direct. And tonight, we have a very special guest, everyone. This man is a member of one of the most bananas rhyme crew out there with the big BSF. Black Soprano family. He's been doing his thing for some time, ripping the streets with the raw rhymes of reality, picking it up, and really blazing a trail for himself with all types of awesome authenticity and real stand-up vibes. This man is the next to blow, and we are so grateful to have him on. And he's here to tell us about his new project and how he got started. Shout out to Benny the Butcher. Of course, you know, Mr. Harlem Zone, Fuego Bass, Rick Hyde, and the whole crew. Big Jake, the illustrator. Ladies and gentlemen, with no further ado, we got Big BSF Tone on with us tonight. What it do, man?
What's good, brother?
What's good, big dog? What's going on with y'all? How y'all been?
We good. What's going on with you, man? Great to have you with us.
I appreciate y'all having me on, man. I'm chilling, man.
Absolutely. We got a lot to get to, man. You got a story behind you. I mean, in terms, you know your project, how you got started, what inspired you, how you hooked up with Benny and the crew. We got a little bit of time. Let's go,
yeah, we got
man.
some time. Yeah, let's get into it. Where y'all want to start at?
Just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you came from, and just, everything, good led to this point presently that you being with us.
All right, so I'm from North Philly, born and raised from a neighborhood called Hunting Park.
Okay.
Drug dealer, subculture, niggas taking money, things of that nature. You know how that go.
Mm-hmm.
Niggas outside my whole life. First of my crew to do everything, basically to jump off the porch, go outside and start experiencing that what we go through in most of these inner cities. So, yeah, just went outside, got caught up, started, bringing friends outside with me. Outside just trapping, life caught up, had kids on the way, had to go a little harder, did some time, came home, did some more time. I'm just getting fresh off of that, I just did 12 federal, so, I'm back outside. I just got my ankle monitor cut off last Friday, so I'm able to get some movement now. But that's how that went for the most part, and while I was there, I ended up running into Duffel Bag Hottie. Shout out to Humphrey Duffel. I talked to him today. He's just so happened to be Benny's right-hand man. Put me in a cell with him for a couple hours. We, gave him some bars and all that. He was just anxious to hear some. And then 2 days later, put me right on the phone with Butch, and Butch ain't even asked me to rap. He just asked me if I wanted in, and it was up from there.
That's dope, man.
That's what's up.
Coming from Philadelphia, so there is such a rich hip hop history. There's such a rich music history. Before that. Kenny Gamble, Leon Huff, of course,
right.
Pendergrass, Bahamadia, Will Smith,
right.
Beanie Siegel, Freeway.
Yeah.
Of course, when you look at it from the street side, JBM and all those guys.
Yeah, for sure.
So heavy. Of course, Kabani Savage and all those guys.
Yeah, my guy.
Yeah. So when you look at it from that side, getting out there, how was being outside like that molding you into man that you obviously came standing strong, stalwart, all the tough, but also shaping your rhymes in terms of being able to rap from such an authentic place of the reality that you actually live, what others actually try to talk about.
Well, yeah,
but never do.
Yeah, for me, it was easy because I got told this story on a couple pods and everything like that. My fourth grade teacher was a rapper, and like I wanted to do that. The first time I ever heard him rap, he played the tape for us in the class, and I wanted to do that. So when I went to him, told him what I wanted to do with myself, he basically started making like things like language arts, reading and writing, speech writing and oratory, shit like that, making that my homework, just honing my skills, you know what I'm saying? So by the time I started going outside and started getting outside, getting involved in the streets and everything like that, I was already like well prepared for, you know, as an artist, as a writer, as a rapper. I already knew exactly what I was doing, what to say, how to say it, why I was going to say it. So just so happened that going outside just gave me a little bit more to talk about. You feel me? Like having all the pitfalls that come with, you know, living in the street life and being the guy who I was in my neighborhood. It basically took me to it helped me sharpen my sword as far as what I was, you know, subject matter, what I was talking about and everything like that. But as far as the life itself, yeah, I lost a lot of people to both the jail and the graveyard. So like Kabani Savage, he's alive, but he's locked up. Like, you know what I'm saying, the street legend from down my way. It's a bunch of guys who I lost that I respected and everything, and that and gave me a lot of jewels and a lot of opportunities outside in the streets. So just I took all that. I used to go on the block, like I said, with my rhyme book and write that shit out like while I was trapping. So that's pretty much how it happened for me. That gave me even more authenticity, so to speak, towards my music.
Definitely. One thing about it too, Tone, coming up in that time, you know, obviously you saw the second wave of where, like I said, Schoolie D, Bahama D, and Will Smith laid it down, of course, Beanie, E, Freeway, you know,
right.
You know, all of them that would eventually carry that torch going into the next gen. And of course, you, shout out to the son of the 215, we had him on last year, great guy.
Yeah.
You know, shout out to Morris Freeman, that's his real name, it's all good. You know, and you all carry on tradition in a very distinct and profound way.
Right.
When you looked at how you were influenced by your teacher, how important is it from what you feel as a father, as a black man, or, you know, young black boys and black children in general, to have somebody who can inspire them to do something as a career that some would dismiss as nothing more than a trivial pursuit with no real possibility for a majority? What did that mean for the inspiration that he gave you, and how you've been able to inspire so many others with your story?
Well, for me, I learned early to be like a jack of all trades a little bit. Like, getting my record deal, I wasn't looking for it. It just so happened the universe spoke it. And duffel bag just so happened to walk into my unit. I just so happened to rap for him, and he just so happened to be with BSF. So, I mean, but I'm so much better at other things. Just so happened my passion is writing. So I made sure that, you know, like a lot of the legends that a lot of people that I looked up to were guys from my neighborhood, whether it was in the streets or whether they was trying to do music to get out the streets. So basically my whole thing is everything I like, everything that comes with writing, I made sure that I was good at. Like, you know, I wrote screenplays, I wrote urban fiction, I wrote a whole bunch of stuff when I was away doing time. Trying to just trying to get my pen up, you feel me? And I drew a lot of inspiration from a lot of old movies that I've seen, a lot of newer movies I've seen, everything like that. I was just being, you know what I mean, paying attention and shit. So, I mean, for me personally, my inspiration just comes from anything creative. And I try to keep it going from there, man. As far as keeping that, you know, giving somebody some inspirational words as far as what they need to be doing with themselves, I mean, I'm a testament to not giving up. Like, I mean, my situation happened. I got locked up. I did my time. I didn't know what I was going to do before I came home. Got my opportunity, came home, signed my contract and shit, and then ended up getting violated and going back to jail last November, the day after Election Day. And ended up getting out this past March, and still was able to maintain my situation and build off of the momentum I had before I went back in. So, I mean, you just got to stay hungry and just not give up. And, like, if you can't find inspiration around you, inspire yourself. Like, look at your situation. If your situation is good, then you want to make it better, let that be inspiration to be better. If your situation is dire, that damn sure better be your inspiration to get to push your pen to do whatever it is that you do. Just be good at it and make sure that you're doing more than one thing. Real hustlers never limit themselves to one hustle.
Absolutely, and you know what? That also plays a role of having the right circle behind you, the right people that's going to let you know if you're falling on the wayside, or there's people that's going to keep you within that space to where you don't have to pretty much fall on the wayside of life. Because to survive in this game, man, you got to have a solid team.
Absolutely. Absolutely, and that's real, man. I mean, my people around me right now, I ain't gonna hold you. Since I came home, like everybody, I made sure that my people knew, because my people knew what was going on. They knew about the record deal, they knew about my situation, but I made sure that they knew what my mind was going into this. Like, look, I'm not trying to be spending money on 100 niggas in the entourage to be paying bills for a bunch of niggas around me doing dumb shit and all that. You know what I mean? And let's just say it started with about 50 of us. Everybody shook their head as if they understood. That dwindled down to about 30. I mean, then that came back down even further. So it's about the people you keep around you too, man. If they keep you grounded, make sure that you're doing the right thing and all that. Like the whole time I was on house arrest, my fam, like people that I fuck with, was making sure I got back in on time. They ain't passing me no weed. They doing shit to try to keep me out of trouble. So it's about the type of people you got around you for sure.
And that's important, man, because a lot of times, whether, we come from the block. So whether we are athletes, whether we rappers, whatever, there's what they call a hood lottery. When we hit that, a lot of people tend to think that your success and the riches of the company, they also, for some, feel like they deserve it. Not only do they deserve it, they're entitled to it.
Right.
But by the same token, it is incumbent, it is imperative that, like you said, Tone, that you know your circle and the people know their place in terms of where they fit in. Because your people who are really with you, their thing is they want to make sure you win from a perspective of you not getting no bullshit, not blowing your money recklessly, and just understanding that these opportunities literally just don't come falling out the sky like that. This is about hard work, perseverance, dedication, and a little bit of luck in terms of how you connect with
people. Absolutely, man. That's important, man. Again, like even Benny told me, like it's decision making too. Shit, like it's all about being able to determine how you want your future to be able to look. Everything that you want in your life and going for that. Like, and then when you get there, don't be satisfied with it. You know what I'm saying? So, that's my pursuit right there. I know I'm that nigga. I ain't gonna lie. I know I'm that nigga when it comes to this rap shit, but I'm not out trying to be that nigga. If that just so happen it comes in the process, then so be it. But it always just comes down to being like I said, being hungry, staying noble, staying true to who you are, staying true to the people around you that's putting you in a position to win.
Confidence you have in abundance. Character is unlimited. You being an individual who is talented is limitless. Many artists have the talent, but a lot of times they don't necessarily have the humility. How important is it, Tone, from an understanding that for an artist getting on to maintain being grounded and not feeling like they're bigger than the situation that they're currently in?
All right, what's the deal, y'all? This your man.
That's a good ass question. But for me personally, I always carry myself with a certain type of confidence. I'm a Leo, first of all, so you know how that go.
Ryan.
Yeah. So that's number one for me. Number two, you got to see it before somebody else do. You know what I'm saying? But saying it and being it is two different things. See, some people see themselves as better than they are, and they don't want to open their ears up to any type of critiques or anything like that to be able to get better. Yeah, even though the people that's around are probably like, no, you are. Even if they straight trash, no, you are. You got some work you could do. Some people just don't believe. Some people believe their own hype, and some people don't. For me personally, I had to turn my shit down because it turned I had to turn up my humility and turn my confidence down because I ended up having to put hands, feet, and elbows on people for no. You know how you ever had on people that say some shit like, yo, I don't know that. I don't know why. I don't know that, man. I just don't like that nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I got that a lot. So I mean, on the music scene and just everyday life. So I got tired of having to like constantly defend me being, you know, having a strong belief and a self-awareness about myself and shit. So I turned it down for that personal reason. But it's definitely good though, because you know you can run out there and feel like you the shit and all that, but you run into somebody that's a lot, you know what I mean, stronger. You can have all the money, have all the jewelry, but you run into the right one day, and your career's over. So you know what I mean, there's a lot of people who dealt with that. I think that's a way to help people, you know, try to find a way to turn that down a little bit. But at the same time, I feel like people should shine the way they meant to. So
Absolutely.
yeah, I mean, if you feel like you like that, be like that. You know what I mean? Just, you know, heavy as the head, man. Sometimes you got to dumb it down for people.
And that's real. Understanding the situation like that, obviously, you don't have to prove anything. You know, your reputation, you know, your credentials, you know, the business on the block, you know, conductors on the corner speak for themselves in volumes. You've been there. We know instinct is always imperative because you have to be able to see the situation, understand it. Sometimes there's a time when you have to go ahead and, you know, light up, you know, and then sometimes you have to know how to dim it in a sense because,
right,
you know, I think the biggest thing, King and Tone, we see a lot of times, understanding the streets is that there's always, you have to be ready to protect yours, and even
absolutely,
you know, and what we learned coming up, if respect isn't given, it must be taught. Then
right.
we also learn, conversely speaking, this is real life when shit goes a certain way.
Right.
When you look at a situation, because obviously there have been some recent situations, the situation with YBC Dole, and
right.
you know what happened with them two other, you know, youngins that he dissed that other crew with, and within a month, all three of them niggas is dead.
Yeah, bro, shit.
Yeah.
What do you tell young artists today coming in about having beef with all other artists in terms of knowing what is real, what's fabricated, and most importantly, how to assert yourself without getting yourself into a situation where real action may have to be taken and someone's lives may get assassinated behind it?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not really much I can tell kids because they, I mean, even the ones that wanted, you know, like the point is to get the money and get out the hood, right? But if you get the money, you get out the hood, and you still taking the lifestyle and the culture, like, you know, and everything that came with it, with you, then it's like, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? It's like you still end up in the same situation no matter what. You just in a better environment. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, don't think killers won't come up to your mansion or some shit like that and try to off you. You know what I mean? The baby had to show the world that shit. Like, you know what I mean? A bunch of rappers had to. So, I mean, the thing is, separating yourself from the street shit and the lifestyle and everything with that and being an artist, man, that's important, man, because I mean, we just lost this young boy out here, Qua. We just lost him.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And like hate is a real thing. Hate is a real thing. And this is a kid out here who was just pushing positivity.
Yeah.
He wasn't doing nothing. He wasn't outside, and if he was outside, it don't matter because he wasn't outside trying to put people outside. Like, you know what I mean? He was trying to keep kids from going outside. So the whole thing about that is, like, sometimes people just hate, man. And it's crazy how I just said this to some bars. I got a song coming out called Be What You Are and shit. It's produced by Stan the Man. He and I have a project coming up. I'm hoping to release this. I'm hoping to release this song soon. But I said something in that rap. I said something in the verse in there. I said, niggas admit to being all kinds of shit but a hater. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, a nigga tell you he the biggest drug dealer. A nigga tell you he a killer. He a pimp. He fucking all these women. He doing this. He doing that. You know what I mean? And you tell him that he's a hater for some reason if you say some hating shit. And it's like, no, nigga, I never hated on a nigga day in my life. Like, we'll admit to all kinds of sins for being a fucking hater as people. It's weird to me. But that's a lot of it come down to that, though, too. Like, you know what I mean? I don't think necessarily everybody who's out to take something from somebody for some odd reason, as far as like those guys that, you know, went out their way to try to rob a rapper and kill a rapper or whatever, or anybody under those circumstances. I think there are people who are like just hungry. You know what I mean? And some of the circumstances got bad, but a lot of these dudes is out here doing shit, killing shit for clout. These kids, it ain't even no money in it. You know what I mean? So you want to kill a nigga for a belt or some nut ass shit, like some shit that don't even make no sense. So I mean, the best I can tell these rappers that's up and coming, that's young, man, is young boy, lead the streets. Where the fuck they at? We try to get out of it, man. Leave all that extra shit, all that shit talking on niggas' deaths and all that shit like that. Leave that shit where it's at, especially if you ain't the nigga who shot nothing, because that ain't real, first of all. You know what I mean? Second of all, if you telling about an entire case on a track, you're a rat to me, in my book. I don't give a fuck how you slice it. You know what I mean? But, yeah, that's that.
That's something, nigga, that gave me chills what you just said about niggas will admit to everything but being a hater, because one thing about it, and that's a real line, and I think our listeners will be able to relate to this, listening to this. Niggas like to pass themselves off as being opinionated, and that's fine, because we all have opinions.
Right.
There's a difference between somebody who has an opinion or even a criticism, and then a nigga that just fucking hates just because they're just jealous. Because hating is about
they say. You know what they say? They call it. I don't know if this is the new term today, but they call it rage bait.
That makes sense. That makes sense. The way that sound makes sense. You know what I mean?
Because you're doing it purposely to incite people. You're putting it out there just to purposely incite people and to get clicks. But this was, in reality, they don't really believe it.
Yeah, clickbait shit, Stephen A. Smith type shit.
Yeah.
Somebody got to be an antagonist at some point. You know what I mean? And everybody's fucking how do you say it? In everybody's narrative, there's still got to be an antagonist. Like, you can't be a nigga who just respects the narrative or just have your own opinion of the narrative and shit like that. That's not laced with some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? To try to spice things up a little bit. That's just the world we live in, man.
Yeah, it's because what's going on? Yeah, what's going on now is what's going on is people are operating through the safety nets. The safety nets is through the phone and being long distance. Right. There used to be a time where you had to be outside, front and center.
Yeah, and it's sad, man. Like I said, I mean, just socially in a social setting, like, think about it. Like, most of the people think how people are making friends these days. Most people are making friends on the internet. You don't even say hi to people and shit. Most people don't even like to communicate no more. You gotta text them. They don't even want to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, one of my kids, I go to call her. I'm like, damn, like, you ain't answer your phone. I had to text her that. Like, damn, you ain't answer. Oh, I don't like to talk on the phone. Pop. I'm like, damn, what the fuck you mean? Like, you got a phone? Like, that's just the world we live in, man. Like, people don't connect the same way no more. So, I mean, usually when people just get to talking shit, that's the best way they get to do it now. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, you used to have to pull up on somebody or be right then and there, be right on the spot and shit like that. Like, you know what I mean? I know Kevin Durant wish he was playing the NBA in that time, because he responded to everybody that say something to him online.
And that's something on one hand, because another part I wanted to get to, on that phone about it. But one thing about Durant, as much as I respect Durant as a player, and I respect him as a man, but I do think he lets himself get too caught up in a lot of those criticisms, because my thing is, dude, you won. You're going to go down as one of the all-time great players in NBA history. You won 2 championships. You're wealthy. You don't have to answer to the bullshit.
Yeah, that's real shit. But I respect it, though, because I respect it to this extent. Like,
right.
The niggas, he know he great. He want to be greater than he is. You know what I mean? So, like, he protective over his shit. His game is his baby. You feel me? Like, it's kind of like me as a rapper. Like, I already know I can't take heed to no, I can't feed into no negativity and shit. You know what I mean? Like for example, I had we went up to Sirius XM like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and I had to do a freestyle for Punchline Academy and shit. Bring my own beat type shit. Just so happened, I had to use a whole different beat at the last second because we had an issue with our production or whatever the case may be. So I don't have nothing prepared for this beat. So I decided to go off the top of the head, which wasn't as crispy as my usual freestyle shit is. So after the fact, the beat's over. You know what I mean? I decided to say, fuck it, I'm gonna just keep rapping acapella. So I kept rapping. But they cut it in 2 takes. They released the freestyle take, which wasn't crispy or to my liking, first. I'm getting like haphazard, like, you know what I'm saying, like half-hearted shit and all kinds of shit, like motherfuckers is talking filthy, and I felt the need to defend my honor, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Everybody else got to calling me like, yo, bro, like, they about to fix that. Don't even trip. All them motherfuckers who talking shit in the comments gonna flip their comments over to the other joint, just let it, because they gonna want to comment on something. You know what I mean? So they, just like that, they flipped the shit. I mean, they switched the shit to put the better take out, and then they flipped all those negative comments and shit like that. But I get the rant for that though. I understand him for that, wanting to defend his baby a little bit. I did a little bit of that in that situation.
And there's nothing wrong with that, man. I think from a perspective, look, my brother will tell you, we've had to deal with our share of haters.
Still do.
And he will flame their ass like the Human Torch, Pyro, and Firestar put together in terms of letting them know. Me, I know how I can get. So I usually look at it from a more... I look at people's motivations behind it.
Right.
For King is going to let them know he's reactionary at times. I'm more reserved and cerebral about it, because we're blessed to do this, having people like yourself who have added on to our legacy and history, and we are so privileged to be part of yours with this. So we've been blessed because we know that we've been able to do something that a lot of people have not been able to do.
Exactly.
And from that end of it, that's why we pretty much should sometimes try to tune out a lot of haters, because a lot of times people will simply, they see you've achieved where they failed. You've excelled where they haven't even started from the line.
Right.
Your preparation has carried you into a place of running a marathon that they didn't even train for and still on the couch.
Right.
So I tell everybody, you don't have to respond to everything, because sometimes look where it's coming from, and look where you're at, and look where they are. Look how far ahead you are, and look where they haven't even gotten off the starting point. But there are times you do have to let people know, nigga, we can go there if that's what you want. Because if you keep antagonizing me, after a while, this shows that it's personal with you towards me. And I can make it a real personal back if that's where you really want to go.
Real shit. I ain't mad at that right there, bro. You said it all right there. Real shit.
Man, that's one thing. That's one thing that artists gotta learn, though, man. Is sometimes you gotta turn that comment section off, man, because I'm not even a rapper, and that shit fucks with me, man. At times, I be like, man, I be want to just, you know what I mean, slap 5 these motherfuckers, man. I'm like, some of these people, I'm like, y'all getting a little too fresh and disrespectful, man. But that's what they're gonna do now.
Yeah. Yeah, that should be having me. That should be having me in my bag sometimes and shit. But like I said, I see the comments on other shit, like, and it pissed me off. Like I said, I rarely ever see negative comments. Like, I don't ever, like, on anything I do. Like, you know what I mean? I had that one day, and I was just like, oh shit, like, niggas was calling me like, yo, bro, like, fuck that shit. Like, you know what I mean? You already know exactly who you, same shit y'all just said, man. Like, you know exactly who you are. You put in a lot of work. You know what I mean? You wrap circles around niggas. Like, you know what I mean? I already got the respect of, like, my peers and shit that a lot of motherfuckers, you know what I mean, will pay cash money to go see. That, like, who's already stabbed me. You know what I mean? Benny, Conway, Westside, the whole Griselda, the whole drum work, the whole BSF, guys outside of that, you know what I mean, lyricists, motherfucking Graf, D. Jones, motherfuckers from my city. You know what I mean? Kill Switch 215, you know what I mean? Telly Demon, like, motherfuckers that's actually doing something. So, like, I had to check myself and shit like that, too, on that front, you know what I mean? So, it feel good, man.
Yeah, I be like that pretty much. It's not more so with me, because I could take it with me, but, you know, when people are, attacking the team, that's where it's a whole different, I get to a whole different headspace, man, because I know Benny being more so a public figure, you don't have cats coming out here saying some of the weirdo shit, man, and sometimes it get to you as somebody, because you know these people personally.
Right. Absolutely. Like, see, a nigga can't talk. See, I just had a situation in jail with that. Like, right before I came home, after I got violated in November, right before I came home this past March and shit. All right, let me take you back to this. Before I came home originally last May, Benny hit me up. I called him and shit on the jail phone and shit. We chopping it up and shit. Nigga humble and shit, always answer every call I call. Anytime I call, he always answer my call. So I asked him just just so happened to ask him like, yo, so with this rap shit, like I know it's political as fuck. Like, who don't we fuck with? You know what I mean? Just so, because I know I like to move around. I was in places with a lot of rappers before I was a rapper. Like, so.
Right.
He like, all right, you know what I mean? That's a good question. He was like, everybody love us, everybody love BSF, everybody fuck with BSF, but we don't fuck with, you know what I mean, main man who he's recently had a beef with. You feel me? Right. From Indiana and shit. So I'm like, all right, say less. So, you know what I mean, fast forward to, you know what I mean, me going back to jail, to the actual jail they released me from. They took me all the way back to that jail and shit, put me in the same exact cell they released me from and everything and shit. On the same exact unit. I walk in this fucking spot, like I want to say like a week past and shit. You know what I mean? I'm walking the yard, I hear a couple niggas, big BSF tone, whatever the case may be, shit like that. I'm hearing big BSF all over the yard, and I just end up hearing one motherfucker say like, fuck BSF. So I just went, you know, of course I look in that direction. I see a couple niggas walking past and shit. I ain't thinking nothing of it. My mans end up pulling me to the side later on, telling me that those some niggas from Gary. You know what I mean? From out there and shit.
Yeah,
from out Gary.
Yeah, sound and all that.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh, all right, say less. You know what I mean? I ain't thinking nothing of it, of course. You know what I mean? It'd be a lot of faking niggas in that jail. Before I left the jail, there was only one nigga in that jail there longer than me. Like, you know what I mean? Motherfuckers don't last 2 years on that yard. Like, you know what I mean? So, anyway, and I'm not saying I'm the biggest, baddest motherfucker, but sometimes, you know, you gotta be the smartest man in the room and shit. You know what I mean? I went through a lot. I seen a lot of shit. So, anyway, I'm back to the unit. My man telling me who these niggas is, and then just so happened I ran into him one day and shit, and I just so happened to ask like, what's up with that, all that shit outside, whatever this fuck BSF or whatever the case may be and shit. No, them niggas turned into laptops and lawn chairs, man, folded right up and shit. Like, and we still got them niggas out of there. Like, yo, yeah, y'all gotta get the. I ain't about to live in this yard while I'm here, man. Running around with no mouth like that and shit like that. Like, get the fuck out of there. Basically sent them out of there. So, you know what I mean? It's like you kind of inherit like little shit. You know what I mean? Like, I inherited some shit that was unwarranted. Like, niggas, you know what I mean? And in that environment in particular, like, that was dangerous. You feel me? So, you know, we had to do what we had to do, but.
Understood. You know, say less. And I mean, the situations like that, the main thing is you get caught up in those shit where it compromised your, you walk into the door.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Because that's something where, and obviously, you know, prison politics are different. And I tell any nigga, you know, there's one thing about the street politics and prison politics, they're totally different things.
Hell yeah, I agree with that.
Because if you get caught up on the inside, that's more added time to you that fucks up your projected release date. Mm-hmm. And that's where absolutely. You have to, and that's where you got it. That's where situations, especially when you have something to go home to. I remember when niggas was trying to roast Tony Yayo back in the day, we're talking about Marvin Bernard when it come out on the yard, you know, trying to antagonize him up in New York. But my thing is, that nigga had $1 million and a house and a car to come home to. Why that nigga gonna risk his shit going out there?
No bullshit.
Off for some niggas who don't got nothing.
Absolutely.
Like, you know, and Yayo, from what I understand out there in the streets, Yayo want no pussy in the street.
Nah.
You know, so it's Yayo was really handling business. You know, so it's like, but Yayo was smart because he's like, why do I need to risk my shit on some shit niggas who, you know, ain't got nothing.
Basically, yeah. I mean, I see what you're saying exactly, yeah, for sure. Like, and I agree with that too. You know what I mean? Wholeheartedly agree with that. Just so happened in the moment. You know what I mean? It was the moment. Like, you know what I mean? It was like a two paths cross and shit like that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And it was gonna be words said one way or another. So, you know what I mean? Just so happened, and under those, like I said, under those particular circumstances, it was just like, all right, like, and it's a testament to me because I'm well protected, well connected, and well respected, like in a lot of different circles and with a lot of different people and shit. So I ain't had shit to worry about either way. You know what I mean? Everywhere I move now, I move like it's like we about to go to a fucking like it's like a shit like a concert crowd coming. Like I'm bringing the show with me. So
going to your music right now. Now, when you decide on going to make it a project, how do you creatively map your plan out? Like, do you just map it out within just going to work with, or do you have the max out strategy ahead of time?
See, right now I'm working on multiple projects. For me, it just works like I work better like that. Like I don't know why. It got to be like some type of like ADHD or some shit like that or something. Like yeah, I mean I don't know. It's something like that. But I'm working on multiple fucking projects right now. And what happens is a lot of the times, for example, one of the projects I'm working on is with the Architects and shit. They produce a lot of platinum shit, a lot of albums for a lot of tracks for a lot of people. A lot of New York artists, Nas, Mobb Deep, Raekwon. They did a lot of good shit. So they just so happened to hit me up one day like, yo, we fuck with your single Federal Flows that I got out right now streaming everywhere and shit. That just cracked 100K on YouTube and shit too. My first video and shit. So like my squad bigged me up for that. But however, they hit me up, they reached out and was like, yo, we want to send you a beat. And I'm like, so I popped my shit a little bit. I said, yo, don't send me the $10,000 beat, man. Send me the $100,000 beat, like, and send me a few of them. Like, I want to hear that shit. If you talking about you just want to work, like, and I guess they got a kick out of that, and they sent me some fire. So now that's an official project that I'm working on. That's usually how it works for me. Like, right now I got a lot of up and coming producers sending me a lot of music and shit like that too. For me to they want to get their sound out there for me to go through. I'm choosing them wisely, of course. But a lot of the top names, even the guy that produced Federal Flows, my man Bruno out in Poland. Yeah, I mean, his numbers is ridiculous and shit. He just so happened to fuck with my sound a little bit. When I didn't even have a beat to rap to. He liked what he heard and was like, I'm gonna sing some beats last year when I came home. So that's usually how it works. People just send me shit, and if I'm feeling it enough and they send me a pack that's like really like that, then I'll just put that in the books and just start going to work on it as soon as I get to it.
Tell us about the first time you stepped in the studio when you really got to lay the grind down. Whether before you were signed or after you were signed.
Shit, the first time I ever stepped in the studio, I was probably real confident because I was already rapping like amongst my friends and like shit like that, and they already like said I was the best in my crew and shit like that, whatever the case may be, and I was working on trying to be the best in my neighborhood and so on and so forth. So like I was going at everybody and shit like that. So I was basically already like a little seasoned and shit like that. So when I got in the booth, I wasn't scared at all. Like I was just confident. I knew what I had to do. Like I knew what I wanted to say. I had to say it. I also knew that time was money, and so I was like prepared when I went in there. Even to this day, I never go to the studio and write shit. Like I write before I get to the studio, and I lock that shit in so I can be able to maximize my time. So, yeah, that's my thing. I got in the booth. I laid that shit out, man, and then coming home from off of the bed, my first time back in the booth and shit, it was like riding a bike. I never forgot how to do it. But it was like a release too. It was so therapeutic because that's how I was writing before I actually got the deal in jail. Like I was writing for therapy because I was like, all right, this is never gonna happen for me anyway. Like, you know, what am I keeping my pen sharp for? Just so happened the shit that I was writing to release, you know, as you know, have a positive outlet for the shit that I was going through in prison. Just so happened that it was you know enough to be able to get me to deal with BSF. So I mean, when I came home, like it was just like a whole fucking release, like emotionally, spiritually for me. When I got in the booth and shit like that, and like it just, you know, something else woke up. You know what I mean? And here I am, Tone 066. You know what I mean? Big BSF, Blocks and Robbers album about to drop. Video just hit 100K. Just shot another video a couple days ago, about to be released. Got a bunch of big producers hitting me up. Bunch of good cosigns. Just came back from Brooklyn last night with the gang. Me and Sule working on something. We cooking. We working. We got a lot of good shit going on.
And it's such a blessing for you, Tone, listening to all of this because you've been through so much. And you've had a lot of winding roads. When you when you were looking at when you first started this in earnest, what was your trajectory in terms of the talent being distributed? Were you doing open mics, or were you just going to the hood and just battling niggas from all over?
When I first started rapping,
Yes, sir.
well, I ain't really have a chance to go through the battle circuit in my city. I mean, Philly was big on battle rap, and like I want to say the early to mid 2000s and shit like that.
Cassidy the champ, he was heading it up
Yeah.
back in the day. Shout out to Cassidy, we had him on.
Yeah, shout out to Cassidy, the Larceny family. Yeah, like they like Cass to me was always like the best in the city, like and like battle rapping, like hands down. Like I felt like nobody could fuck with Cass. Like from the first time I heard him, like so. You know what I mean? So I had battles in my time and shit like that. I've never lost a battle. And then in jail, of course, you got more time on your hands than you do on the street. So it was like when like I was still kind of hungry before, like doing my first bid and shit like that. So I just kept my pen sharp and would battle niggas on the yard, like whatever yard I was on. So. Like wherever yard I was on, I felt like I had to be the best there. And then you got niggas, in the feds, it's geographical as fuck, but you got niggas from all over the place, from all over the country. East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, down south. You got some niggas from out the country in this motherfucker. So you got enough ears and eyes on you to hear you, to really hear you and tell you if you're really nice or not. You feel me? So I was basically, keeping my shit sharp through that. You know what I mean? That's basically, that was my whole thing. And then when I eventually ran in a duffel bag in USP Canaan, two and a half, almost 3 years ago now. I had that yard on smash. I had that yard in the headlock for 10 years straight. Like, and rappers would get off the bus every week. Niggas from all over the place that battled, talk about they battled, and then when they found out what they was dealing with, and they was saying he was the best in the yard, it was like, oh no, I just make songs, or they actually jump out there and battle, and I crush them shit. So, that was just, like I said, it's just therapy for me and shit. But doing it now, I feel like I'm like a nigga coming out of college going into the NBA with it now. So like, I'm totally ready for it.
You, Sule, shout out to Street Soprano as well.
Yeah, Street Soprano, shout out to him.
Yeah. For what Benny has given all of you the opportunity, and the Griselda movement as a whole, what have y'all learned from them in terms of patience, enterprising, business, and most importantly, brotherhood and camaraderie?
Well, what's crazy is one of the things you said, patience. I thought you was gonna finish when you said, "What did I learn from him?" The first thing that came to my mind was patience. And he had to tell me to be patient a couple times and shit. Yo, bro, it's happening. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. We doing this. We doing that. It's coming. And I just had to learn how to be great. Like, sit back and watch a lot of shit. Even yesterday, like my time in Brooklyn. He performed yesterday at the Gutter. He asked me if I would like to perform and shit. I told him, yeah, fuck it. If it's what you want me to do, I'll do it. I ended up not performing. However, I sat back and watched how he moves his crowd, how he, how he conducts himself. We stepped into a podcast for him to promote his that Rec Roots brand, that Benny Batch Bud that's out there. And he shouted me out all crazy. Got me in the room with some people. So I'm learning shit all the time, no matter what. Even in the recording process, calling the label, setting up my studio time. Shit like that. My travel to and from, all that. I'm learning as I go. Like, in the process, man, it's just, and one thing I really just took from everybody was just be a sponge, always be a sponge, and absorb and soak up as much game as you possibly can, man, because it's all around you. It gives you opportunities. Like, he opened the door for me already with a whole lot of different shit. I got a lot of shit going on, a lot of good shit that I'm happy that I'm doing and everything like that. And if it wasn't for that, man, I don't know what I'd be doing. So it's a good thing. Like I said, though, it's a good thing to be a jack of all trades, because a hustler never limits themselves to one hustle. So I'm expanding my life situation as well as my, who I am as an artist and my brand personally. And that's probably the best thing that I picked up, was just being a sponge, man. They some real niggas over there at BSF.
Man, shit, man. Shout out to, of course, Benny, a great guy, city boy. I mean, from when we had City Boy on some years back, great interview, of course,
Yeah.
hanging out with Benny, a couple times. It was one thing about it is that you can really feel the bond and the camaraderie.
Yeah.
We still got to get Sule, Rick Hyde, Fuego. We got to get them as well because you all have a very, very rich history, a very distinguished pedigree. How it's all come together. When we look at what Westside, Conway, and Benny's done with their independent, with their labels, and how long it really took them to really make it happen. Westside started Griselda really back in 2004. Then he started BSF in 2012.
Yeah.
Conway started drum work a few years back. So it's like these were guys who had the talent, but really, really like anything coming out of Buffalo, dare we say, there was home for the Bills, Chicken Wings, and Rick James. And of course, shout out to Billy Sheenan, one of the baddest bassists ever to play. Y'all know music. But Buffalo was not known as a hip hop hotbed. And you all have made Buffalo look. Y'all niggas made New York sound more. Y'all niggas brought the New York heat and Buffalo from where New York were the 5 boroughs in the city. Y'all were doing more New York than New York in the city was.
Yeah, I hear Benny speaking on this all the time. I can't necessarily speak on it. As far as the impact that Griselda drum work and BSF has had, just as individual collectives and as a whole, because we all still brothers and under the same umbrella and everything like that.
Right.
I'm new here, I'm a new guy, but I could appreciate it from a distance, knowing exactly what the work that was put in for them to be here, and even the stories that I've heard. Because me and Benny's situation is more of a brotherhood than anything. We talk about personal shit more than we talk about this rap shit or the business side. And when I was locked up, even tapping in with my mother, making sure my mother was good, sending me pics and shit like that. So we chopped it up. So. The stories I've heard about how, certain radio stations and certain DJs ain't, was playing funny when they was coming down from upstate, to the boroughs and shit like that, to go do their thing and shit and be heard. Motherfuckers had to wake up, had to really start waking up and shit when, cosigns start coming in and people start oh no, these niggas got bars, oh, these niggas got a fan base, oh, these niggas got a movement, oh, this shit real, niggas had to wake up. So, hearing them stories and actually saying it too, because I was a Griselda fan too in prison. I became one in the prison. And I had to come home and go back and listen to all the shit that I didn't hear because, of course, it's my team. But at the end of the day, I still want, I'm a fan as well. So, I just respect the whole situation, man. It was done right, man. West Side, it would be no West. If it was no West Side, it would be probably be no BSF, probably be no drum work. I'm grateful every day for Westside and everything that he got going on, man. So I definitely just personally shout him out in a lot of my music.
Yeah, it was definitely needed, man, because what it did, it gave an identity back to New York City that was needed, as well as the East Coast as well. Because now we going back to that time where everything feels regional.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they definitely, you hit it on the head, though, too, right there, because, for sure, especially with the way that music is right now. You got a lot of older hip hop artists right now from New York that, in my opinion, and we was just talking about everybody having opinions, but you got a lot of older hip hop artists that are able to come back out and really drop and say whatever they need to say now that niggas want to hear because of what BSF Griselda drum work has done. You see what I'm saying? I credit hip hop personally with that. And a lot of people might fuck around and disagree, but real hip hop heads, people that really listening for bars, they ain't driving, bumping this shit because they know that when they drive past a group of women, they gonna start shaking their ass. The niggas that's really listening, they want to hear what they want to hear. They want to hear that. They want to hear some bars. They want to hear, that street life. So, I personally credit, my mob with that. For the way hip hop is moving and the way that the culture is shifting back in that direction right now with the boom bap and everything. So I respect it, full force and wholeheartedly.
Nigga, speaking of that, have you heard Slick Rick's new album? Oh my God.
No, I ain't get a chance to come across that yet.
Dude,
I gotta check that out too.
Dude, the man is 60 years old and he's still rapping it like 88 in a good way. Rick has not lost a step.
That's what we was talking about. Not like shit like riding a bike, man. Shit like riding a bike, man. I could dig it. I much respect and much love to Slick Rick for what he got going on, bro. I ain't come across it. I be working, bro. I don't get a chance to listen to nothing like, you know what I mean, except for the brews mainly when I get sent tracks and shit. So, you know what I mean, I ain't get a chance to hear that yet. I ain't even heard Wayne new album.
Yeah, I mean, well, I put it like this, I feel like this, Tone. On Off the Cuff, we're never about shitting on anybody because we're always respectful. I will say this, and we'll probably get shit for, but who cares? I've always looked at Wayne. Wayne, to me, has been very successful, and he's a legend. I think my issues with the Wayne train was that everybody kind of jumped on Wayne because it got fashionable to do so during a particular point.
Right.
You know, sometimes I feel like a lot of the people who are so quote unquote Wayne fans, I'm like, it became a fashionable thing to like Wayne. Right? Was it really genuine in terms of y'all really being fans of his music, or maybe the image he projected?
Right.
I know that can be a very controversial take.
Well, he benefited. Well, like I said, he benefited off coming into an era where it was really no killers involved, man. Because at the time, think about the guys that was doing it, man. You had Jay, Nas, DMX. Then you had Mobb Deep. You had Pun. You had, I'm going off verbatim right now, but you had all these guys that were straight lyrical assassins on the mic. Then when Lil Wayne came in with the niggas that was already there was like what, the Shop Boys.
No, but in my opinion though too, with Wayne, hell yeah, Wayne is like a in my opinion he's more than just a fucking legend. Like even we talk about like niggas that was around and shit, even with the niggas that was around that wasn't, the Shop Boys and them, them white tea niggas and shit like that. Like, Wayne was talking, Wayne was chatting on shit, Wayne had, however it happened, and at any rate, Wayne was chatting, man. So, like, Wayne definitely, I definitely feel you about a lot of people doing it, like, the trendy Wayne bandwagon type situation and shit. Like, I could dig that, because a lot of people didn't know about, I'm not going to say didn't know, but probably ain't really start respecting Wayne, as an artist until fucking Carter 3. In my opinion, he's some of the dumbest people ever. Some of the dumbest people ever. When Wayne really was able to cross over and really hit him upside the head, that's when a lot of people did jump on that bandwagon and shit.
And the Wayne's credit, he came up around a time as a youngin' where he also had to study the greats. And you could tell that he does, and he gave it up for the greats. I give credit where credit is due. And he made some fire mixtapes. But our issue was with our issues was with his fan base. Like, you making him more than what he is. You know what I mean? That's all that is.
That's what you're saying. No, but fuck it. People gonna like what there's people who out there that's liking, and I'm gonna tell you like this. I heard mixed reviews about the Wayne shit. It was a mixed bag, but it was still like a lot of people was saying a lot of shit that I was just surprised the shit out of me. On a negative side, but in my opinion, like I said, in my eyes, man, Wayne is a fucking goat. A super goat. A real fucking a real rapper's rapper. In rap circles around shit. I feel like if anything, niggas is entitled to have that one joint. He did more than earn that. But and it's not that I haven't listened to it because I heard mixed shit. I just ain't get around to it yet. I'm gonna get around to it.
Right.
What do you feel today, Tone, about how the music is marketed? Where a lot of times, because it's so different, King and myself are older, so we came from a different time of the mixtape era, from the video era, even from the magazine era, which King has had extensive journalism experience. When you're looking at how it's marketed, do you feel that it's more a lot of times hype manufactured rather than organically grown in terms of how artists are finding their step and their audience with the music today?
I mean, like industry plants and shit.
We could go there too. Yes, sir. Yeah, you could throw that in there.
I mean, it is what it is, man. I mean, I can't really speak on the growth of, like I said, I'm still a new guy and I'm still learning the business technically. I do feel like the popularity, you know, of a person before they actually get signed as an artist for sure helps. Helps the labels and the people that's, you know, when they making the decisions to get, you know, people out there faster. Like, oh, all right, he got almost 1 million. Let's get him up to 1 million. All right, he got 1 million. Let's get him up to, you know what I mean? Let's take it higher and higher. I feel like that's probably the game that they play more than likely. So, and then they, you know, they're gonna flood the algorithms and shit like that. Do whatever they got to do to make sure that these people get out there where they need to get out there. So, I mean, it's just all about, you know what I mean, how the game works for certain individuals, I guess. You know what I mean, I ain't gonna knock it either way. As long as, you know what I mean, motherfuckers actually staying true to who they are going into it.
When you got a chance to really curate your first project in terms of really putting it together, what was the vision that you had in terms of what you were going to do to let the hip-hop world know that you were here, and not only were you here to make a impression, you were here to lay the foundation of the building. Nigga, I'm here and I ain't moving for nothing.
I'll tell you like this. Duffel Bag Hottie and Benny told me back when I first became BSF, to carry BSF like I helped start it or something, damn near like I started it. You know what I mean? To go into this shit, you know what I mean? Basically, what, you know, the way I attack and approach everything I do, and like when I'm committed and I'm connected to something, I'm passionate about it. I'm going at it the hard way. So as far as my project, Blocks and Robbers, I just looked at it as like, all right, I'm here. Like, this is the opportunity that I wish would have happened years ago, but I wasn't even looking for it. So it must have been it's destined for me to put everything I got in it. It's like, because it's all I got at this point. Like, I got a burn the boats mentality. Like, I'm on this fucking island. I'm gonna burn these boats and I'm gonna just go forward. Like, and whatever's in my way, I'm going through it. So that was my approach to my project. It's not really it's not that pain shit. You know what I mean? I ain't about to give you a whole bunch of pain. Maybe at some point you'll get that. But one thing for sure, two things for certain, you're gonna know that I'm here with this project. Like, it's good noise, it's professional noise. You feel me? Yeah, I mean, that shit that's gonna basically make you say, yeah, like, this nigga can wrap circles around you and he makes good music. So I feel like that's the mark that I was aiming for with this. And then maybe a little bit, you know, later down the line, I'll start to open up a little bit more of my personality to people. A lot of people see me on lives and always just see me working and shit. They don't get to see anything I do, and, you know, behind the scenes in my real life. So, I mean, I'm just gonna keep delivering like that as hard as I can until I feel like I'm able to. I'm personally ready as an artist to open up that door and give up a little bit more on who I am as a person. You know what I'm saying? Like my inner kernel, so to speak.
Well, and that's important, man, because when you're stepping into the limelight like you are, being nascent, you're not naive at all. And there's a certain level of anonymity and clandestineness that is necessary, because
right.
You want to build up a certain level of mystique, and then you really, once you've got people drawn in, you allow them to really see who you are from certain levels. In a time where people openly flaunt their personal lives, I think it's good to have a certain level of privacy until you know exactly where you're at with your fan base, and then, you know, you can open up more. And I tell people it's not always a good thing to give up too much at one time. Like they always say, leave the audience wanting more.
Right.
And obviously from the street level, you know, how we came up, you know, how we still move.
Right.
You know, you never let everybody know what you're really doing. You never let nobody know what your plans are, where you're going, none of that. King will tell you that shit. I'll hit him and I would have popped up somewhere. You like, where you at? I'm like, I'm here.
No bullshit though. Listen, man.
Right.
I get it though. Man. I get it though, cause there's times where I feel like I'm too accessible, like, and I don't mean like in a way like I'm outside just amongst people and shit like that. It's starting to happen. In a